Are you wondering what it'd be like to live in one of the Seattle area's most premier communities? Maybe you're thinking of moving here. Maybe you're just dreaming of this lifestyle. Well, in this video, we're going to take a waterfront tour of 3 of those communities. We're also going to check out some of the homes owned by some of Seattle's wealthiest families. Hey, I'm Matt Goyer, Seattle area real estate agent. Been living on the water for over 10 years now. Help lots of people buy and sell waterfront property. I'm excited to hop on the boat and give you a tour. Let's go. So let's start with one of the Seattle area's most well-known, high-priced, exclusive communities. Really, it's a city, and it's tucked here between, we got Lake Washington over here, we got downtown Bellevue over there, and it is home to some of the region's most expensive real estate. Now, a big reason people love it, privacy. You got quiet streets, there's minimal public access to the water, and it feels like its own hidden world, even though downtown Bellevue, just a couple minutes away, and due to the proximity of the freeways, it's really easy to get to Seattle. It's also home to the historic Overlake Golf and Country Club, founded in 1927, flying its classic charm with a sleek modern renovation. Memberships here run over $150,000 with dues in the $1,500 range. So like everything else here, it's pretty exclusive. This neighborhood isn't super walkable. There's almost no commercial space, but they do have a kitchen to market, a boutique little grocery store right here in the heart of the neighborhood. We have one in Eastlake. We love it. It is great. So what community are we talking about? We're talking about Medina, Washington. Medina is quiet, it's private, it's tucked away, and that's exactly how the people who live here like it. Now, in terms of real estate, Medina is home to about 3,000 people. The median home price here is $4.7 million, a lot more than in Seattle and Bellevue, that's for sure. So looking at the market right now, well, the most affordable home for sale is $2.7 million, and that's for a 2,000 square foot home. That sounds like a lot, but don't worry, it's just on a quarter acre, so you're getting a lot of land with that. And the most expensive home for sale right now is $27 million, and that home is not even on the water. Now let's go see some examples of some amazing homes here in Medina. Okay, so here we are, we're in Maidenbower Bay in Medina, and we're going to look at a lot of really expensive houses today. But just an example, you can get on the water for not a large fortune. There are some small fortune homes here. So this home right here with the satellite dish on top, so that one's for sale right now for $7 million. Of course, they're expecting that you're probably going to tear it down and build a new one. What I like about it is it's very close to the water. You really can't build houses that close to the water anymore, so it's grandfathered in. But the reason why I want to start over here is because this modern house is one of my favorite homes here, certainly in Maidenbower Bay. It's really modern looking. It's a lot less ostentatious than a lot of these houses we'll see today. And I really like the natural landscaping. It doesn't have that like manicured green lawn that must cost a fortune to maintain like so many of these houses. Okay, but let's go look at one of the craziest houses in Medina other than Bill Gates's. So one of the cool things about living on the water is you can get a huge inflatable trampoline like that, inflatable water slide. These kids are having a great day on the water. But wait till you see the water slide at this house. We're coming up on the home owned by John and Deborah Bacon. So they own the conglomerate that owns Value Village. And this is just a crazy house. So it's got this boathouse that has a twisty water slide coming off the roof of the boathouse. It's got, it's hard to see now. It's better when there's a bunch of kids in the pool. But they got this pool here, and then they've got this like rock cliff you can jump off into the pool. It's totally crazy. But what makes this a prime piece of real estate is that it sits on the southern tip here of Yarrow Point in Medina. And so you get tons of southern exposure, lots of sun. You even got a sand beach here, very rare on Lake Washington. And so they bought this point here in 2011 for $15 million and then promptly tore the house that was here down and then built this sprawling mansion. Okay, so you see someone's building a really nice new modern house here, and it looks like they're building a boathouse, but in fact, you can't build new boathouses on the lake anymore, but there used to be a boathouse there, so they can rebuild it. So it's really nice. If you're looking for waterfront, if you can find a place that already has a boathouse, it's grandfathered in, so you can rebuild it to make it new again. But if you buy a house that doesn't have a boathouse, you can't build a boathouse anymore. Okay, so we're coming up on the home here of Charles Simonyi. He was one of the key architects behind Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, so like long time Microsoft employee back in the day. His house, it's known as the Windows 2000 house, and because he was building it right as Windows 2000 was coming out. And the rumor was that, or the lore of this house was that it was just a little bit shy of 2000 windows, so he had a couple added to get it up to the 2000 count. But just last year, or the year before, they actually added a whole nother wing here on the left-hand side. So it's probably well beyond 2000 windows at this point. And it's also well known because he's got like what looks like a matching boat to go with the house. And the boat certainly gives off like James Bond villain vibes. So one of the homes we always bring people over to see is coming up over here. It is a very famous house because, as you'll see in a second here, if we're lucky, there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton inside the house. So this home, it's owned by Nathan Myrvold. He used to be Microsoft's chief technology officer. And then he wrote this crazy book called Modernist Cuisine, really into cooking. So the story goes that he became fascinated with dinosaurs and visited the filming of the Jurassic Park sequel in '96. And he met the film's consultant and paleontologist. And that guy convinced Nathan Myrvold to use some of his millions to fund a dinosaur bone digging foundation. And his foundation's recovered lots of T-Rexes, probably more than anyone else. And he's given them almost all to museums. But he did keep one for his house here in Medina on Lake Washington. And it is certainly a highlight of many people's boat tours if they know it's in there, because you kind of have to catch it at the right light because there's so many windows and sometimes there's too much reflection. But I just think it's wild. Like, imagine coming down in the middle of the night to get a glass of water and there's a T-Rex like chilling in your living room. My kids would be totally spooked out about that. Yeah, so here we are, we're boating by Medina's City Hall, probably the only city here with a City Hall right on the waterfront. It's also right next to a beach. So if you don't live on the water, it's got a nice little beach here so you can come take the kids swimming. Kind of a thing. So there's not a lot of homes for sale right now in Medina on the water. And so if you were moving to the Seattle area and you wanted to get on the water here in Medina, here's an example of what that would look like. This is a 5-bedroom house. It's 6,300 square feet, super close to the water. It's got a nice long dock, boat lift. It's nice that it comes with a boat lift. Those take a while to get permitted. But this is priced at $13 million. Okay, so coming up here on the right is going to be the most famous house in Medina, most famous house on Lake Washington, and probably the most famous house here in Seattle. And that is Bill Gates' house, known as Xanadu. And this place is massive. It's just under 60,000 square feet. You can't really tell that from the water, though. They built the home back into the hillside. So it actually looks relatively modest compared to some of these houses, but it is definitely the largest house out here. And it's got it all. It's got docks, it's got a boathouse, it's got a beach area, it's amazing landscaping, and it stretches from there all the way to over there. See his team's hard at work getting the boats ready for summer. Okay, so the story goes that he bought this land back in the 80s for around $2 million. And then took 7 years to build this house. No one knows what this thing would sell for if it were to hit the market today. But when we look it up on the tax website, the appraised value is $140 million. And his tax bill is about $1 million a year. Hiding in there, they've got a trampoline room. They've got a 60-foot pool with underwater sound system. Tons of high-tech features. All right, so we're at the northern end of Medina. So this is gonna be the last home we talk about here for Medina. And this one, it's not for sale, but it sold a couple years ago for $20 million. I really like this house. It's very subtle from the front. You know, it's got mid-century contemporary kind of styling, flat roof, lots of walls of windows. There's a swimming pool tucked back in there. You get this great northern exposure, so you're getting to see some sun in the morning, sun in the afternoon, but not totally blasted by the sun like you are on the south point of Medina. And so yeah, this one sold for $20 million, and notably it went pending the same day it hit the market back in 2023. Okay, so next up, we have a community that's even more exclusive, more expensive than Medina. This one is just to the right of Medina, to the east of it, and it's basically its own peninsula, and it's called Hunts Point, and it is home to some of the most jaw-dropping estates on the lake. So it's smaller than Medina. There's only about 500 people who live here, but don't let the size fool you. This place has been a magnet for tech billionaires, investors, and longtime Pacific Northwest families for decades. The real draw here is privacy and space. A lot of these homes sit on massive lots with incredible waterfront, and thanks to the layout of the peninsula, you get some of the most protected, peaceful lake waterfront footage around. There's no shops, there's no restaurants, it's entirely residential, and that's by design. You're coming here for privacy, quiet, and for that classic Pacific Northwest waterfront lifestyle. But you have all the world-class shopping and dining of Bellevue and Kirkland just a few minutes away. Okay, so if you thought the median price for Medina was high at $4.7 million, well, the median price here in Hunts Point is $8 million. The cheapest home for sale right now is $18 million. But the most expensive home for sale here right now is only $20 million. But don't worry, you can get on Hunts Point for less than that. There are homes that come up on land that don't have the waterfront footage, and you can get into Hunts Point probably around the $6 million price point if you're not looking for the big waterfront estate like the kind we're going to check out here. So I just put two and two together. There's this big boat called Myrvold that lives on Lake Union. We see it all the time, both Lake Union and Lake Washington. And I just connected the dots that this boat over here, Mira 1, must be its sister vessel, and their dock just isn't big enough for Mira 2 to park at, so they leave it over in Lake Union. Here's a home that made headlines recently. It is the former home of Jeff Bezos. So he sold this house recently for what? It was $63 million. He bought this in 2019 for, what was it, $37 million. And remarkably, actually, I got to see inside this home back in 2019. There was an event for real estate agents to check it out, and it is quite the home. It was designed by Olson Kundig, and it was designed for this guy, Barney Ebsworth, who started a cruise line or two, and then my kids would know him because he was an early investor in Build-A-Bear. My kids love Build-A-Bear. But he was basically the one who built this house. It feels like a bachelor pad. You've got this basically one bedroom suite on the north side of the house, and the rest of the house feels like an art gallery, and that's by design. Barney was a huge art collector, it's a massive art collection, and you can really tell that with this house. And then there's a relatively modest guest suite over on the south side of the house, but it has this huge amount of waterfront footage. It's like 300 feet, and it's got a seaplane dock. They're not using it now, but we'll see a seaplane over here in a second. But yeah, quite an amazing house, a little under 10,000 square feet. So one of the advantages of living on the water would be that you could have your plane parked at your house. There are a surprising number of seaplanes around the lake. So that's the beauty of waterfront. You don't need your own runway, but you can park your seaplane right in your front yard. Now, what are some of the other advantages to living on the water? Why are people willing to spend, anywhere from whatever it is, $5 million up to, we're gonna see an $80 million house here in a couple minutes. Why are they spending so much to be on the water? Well, privacy is one reason. From the street, you really can't see any of these houses. And when you're on many of these properties, they're very private. You can't see your neighbors. So that's a big draw. Obviously, the lake is a huge draw. You can go boating. Lots of these people have ski boats or surf boats, so you can do water sports early in the morning here on Lake Washington. As we've seen, there's a bunch with sailboats, so when it gets windier, you can go for a sail. You got your seaplane dock if that's what you need. Some of these homes have little beach alcoves, great for kids. The wildlife on the water is pretty incredible. We've already seen a bunch of blue herons, and there's lots of ducks and beavers and all kinds of things, and certainly lots of fish in the lake too. So just so much to see. The views are incredible. They're kind of always changing too. You get lots of, for better or for worse, there's boat traffic going by, so you get to see lots of boats, lots of activity. Lake Washington's really active in the summertime. It's certainly a lot quieter in the winter months though. Okay, so likely the most desirable real estate here in Hunts Point is the northern tip. And this home, it sold recently for $60 million. It was the most expensive sale we've ever seen in the area, until Jeff Bezos sold his home off market for $63 million, eclipsing this one. But this is a great piece of real estate, tons of Western exposure, lots of waterfront, beautiful large house. So the person who built it was the owner of the Paramount Hotels. And then it's been bought by Sunny Singh, who's the CEO of some company whose name I can't remember, but has obviously done really well. Okay, so we're now in Cozy Cove, which is nestled between Hunts Point over here. We got Yarrow Point over there. It's just a really nice spot here. It's nice and calm, get a lot of protection from the wind. Boats will come and tuck in here on Saturday and Sunday because it's less crazy than further out on the lake. And then when we're out water skiing or surfing early in the morning, it's sometimes this can be a good place to come. There's no other boats here. Okay, so we're coming up on the house that Kenny G built back in 1995 and then sold to the McCaw family. It's for sale right now for $55 million, one of the most expensive homes for sale. We're gonna go see the most expensive one here in just a minute, so stay tuned for that. This home is really special because it's got this waterfront house right here, huge dock system. You could park a big yacht. It's got a sandy beach, and then it's got this huge manor tucked back there, and we can't see it from here, but it's got a huge pool as well. This is a 17,000 square foot house. It is ginormous. And then it also has the caretaker's house is something like 3,000, 4,000 square feet. A lot of house here, very nicely manicured lawns. If you want the best of the best and you don't want ultra modern, this is it. At least this is what's for sale right now. And then your neighbor, you're like, if I buy this house, who will my neighbor be? Steve Ballmer, you know, former Microsoft CEO. Owns a basketball team now, but he owns actually the next couple of houses. Now we're cruising by Yarrow Point, one of the most desirable spots to live on the water, in addition to the other two that we just looked at. This one, a little more affordable than Hunts Point. And so this is a little peninsula. It sticks right out into Lake Washington. It's known for its stunning views. It also has big private lots. This one has more of a community feel than Hunts Point does, and so that's what sets it apart. It's small. It's just about 400 homes, and what makes it special is the combination of privacy and walkability. So unlike Hunts Point, you got some sidewalks, parks, even neighborhood events like a 4th of July parade that bring everybody together. Waterfront here, it's incredible. You got these big estates, private docks, sunset views, but you're also a little bit closer to Kirkland and Bellevue. We're going to take a look here in just a minute how you can take your boat and boat over to dinner at Yarrow Point, which is super enjoyable. So here you're getting that peace and the privacy, but also good access to everything here on the east side, and Seattle's not too far away. Okay, so in terms of real estate, the median price here is similar to Medina. It's around $4.5 million. Most affordable home for sale. There's actually two, one at 3.6. That's kind of a tear down. But then there's a $4 million house, which is a very nice, livable house. So if you want to live the Yarrow Point lifestyle, but without the tens of millions of dollars price tags that these waterfront homes often have, you got options here. And then the most expensive home, we're gonna see it in just a second, is a $79 million home. Let's go find it. Okay, before we go check out the $79 million house, let's just see an example of what you could have bought on the water. There's nothing for sale right now other than that super expensive one, but this home recently sold, and it sold for $13 million. Let's take a look at it on Redfin. So it's 5 beds, 7,400 square feet. It's got a nice sort of rocky shoreline there. Only downside would be it's right next to this street end park. And as you can see, we got some kids enjoying this beautiful weather out here. Okay, we're now coming up on the most expensive home for sale, not just on Yarrow Point, but in all of the greater Pacific Northwest. Its name is Triptych. It was designed by Olson Kundig. It's an extremely modern, contemporary style house tucked back here in the trees. It's got an amazing amount of waterfront footage here. It's got a little pavilion down here by the waterfront. So this home is a little over 14,000 square feet. It's spread over 3 different levels. Can't see it from here, but of course they have a pool too. It is a truly spectacular home. I was really actually excited to see it hit the market because boating by it, you're like, wow, that home's really cool. I wonder what it looks like on the inside. Now that it's for sale, we get to see what it looks like on the inside. The videographer just asked what makes this house so expensive. Well, you got a ton of land, waterfront land for starters. But then this home was designed by Olson Kundig, very famous architecture firm, the most well-known one here in the Pacific Northwest, and they design places all around the world now. This is half art, half architecture. No expense was spared in building this home. There's a ton of concrete and glass and steel. Every little feature was carefully thought out with this home. It's truly a work of art. We will ultimately see what this sells for, whether it can find a buyer. For the Seattle area, it's very expensive, but compared to some other global markets, it is not that expensive in comparison. So another benefit of living on the water is access to this lake lifestyle. So over here, we got Yarrow Point. You got a gas station, which is convenient, but even better than that, you've got a ton of restaurants and shops here. So no matter where you live on the lake, you can boat over here. You can grab dinner at a couple different really nice restaurants. It's a really nice experience. When price is not a problem, these are the communities you're going to want to consider if you're moving to the greater Seattle area. Just keep in mind, this is a slice of lake life here. We definitely looked at the most expensive options, but there's some more affordable options as well. You can definitely buy a single family home on Lake Washington, more in the $2 to $5 million range. And if condo living is more your lifestyle, there's condos available on Lake Washington anywhere from $500,000 up to the many millions of dollars as well. If you want to talk to a real estate agent about life on the lake, well, I've been living on the water for over 10 years now. I help lots of people buy and sell houses here. My contact info is below. Feel free to shoot me a text or email or give me a call. Always happy to talk about what it's like to live on the water and what your options would look like. If you're thinking about relocating to Seattle, you should check out the video we shot up here. Thanks a lot for watching.